Good morning. I can't think of any place that I would rather be than here right now. And I want to thank Joe Miller for inviting me to speak this morning. I also want to take the opportunity to thank Marva and Joy for sharing the service with me, and everyone that helps behind the scenes, Elliot and Jane and Patrick and Keith and Patty and Ruth and my sister-in-law. Actually, my sister-in-law is not here, but I want to thank everyone for helping out today. The opening words are those of Sunshine Jeremiah Wolf. This is a congregation that gathers in faith, not faith in one religion or one God or any one way. We gather in faith of the power of diversity, the power of love, and the hope of a world transformed by our care. We gather in faith in ourselves and those around us. Not a faith that requires perfection or rightness in one another. Rather, a faith that in our shared imperfection, we may learn to stumble and fall together. Faith that we will help one another to rise and to try again and again. We are Unitarian Universalists. Let us worship together. I neglected to thank all of you for being here today and those on Zoom, so thank you. This morning's reading are the words of John Ortberg from his book entitled Faith and Doubt. Both faith and doubt are part of my life. We often think of them as opposites, but while in some respects they are enemies, in other ways, they are surprisingly alike. Both are concerned with ultimate issues. Both pop up unasked for at unexpected moments. Both are necessary. I must have truth, therefore I doubt. If I did not doubt, I'd be just another one of those suckers P.T. Barnum was so grateful get born once a minute. I'd fall for every carnival sideshow delusion that comes along, and I scorn delusion. I must have hope, therefore I believe. If I did not believe, I would cave into despair, and I dread despair. In addition to believing and doubting, there is choosing. I must decide which road I will follow. I must place my bet. The words of John Ortberg. Ask any one of our children and youth taking a religious education class, heck, ask any adult attending worship services, what do Unitarian Universalists believe? Chances are the answer you will get is, you can believe anything you want, right? This notion that you can believe anything you want challenges the legitimacy of our faith tradition and makes us appear weak or indecisive. On top of that, it's also not true. You cannot, for example, believe it's okay to cause physical or emotional harm to another person. You cannot believe that it's okay to cheat or lie or steal. You cannot believe that it's okay to impose your beliefs, religious or otherwise, on someone else. What I really think these people are saying is not that you can believe anything you want, but that you don't have to believe just one thing. You don't have to believe what everyone else believes or what someone tells you to believe. You can find your own answers in the questions you seek. In this context, the response to what do Unitarian Universalists believe actually suggests a core strength in our religious doctrine. In our search for truth and meaning, we have the freedom to explore, to test, to discover for ourselves what Unitarian Universalism is all about. In other words, we have the freedom to doubt. The one thing that unites almost all religions is the conviction that they are right. They are right about God and faith and religion. Unitarian Universalists make no such claim. Our position is, we're not sure. Faith and doubt, that's what I want to talk with you about this morning. Simply put, faith is believing that something is true and then committing ourselves to that belief. Doubt is to call into question the truth of something, to be uncertain, and at least temporarily to demonstrate a lack of conviction to that idea. Many people think the opposite of faith is doubt, that one either has faith or one has doubt. But Pastor Rob Bell offers a counter opinion. Doubt, he says, is often a sign that your faith has a pulse, that it's alive and well and exploring and searching. And theorist and critic Terry Eagleton contends that faith and doubt coexist, that doubt isn't some weak lapse from unwavering faith, it's actually built into it. And this mix of faith and doubt runs through all of our professed beliefs. We have faith in our sacred vow to respect the inherent worth and dignity of all people. But we also have doubt about those whose motivations are suspect or whose actions are harmful to others. Doubting the worth and dignity of some people does not negate our responsibility to continue our belief in all people. To believe that goodness and mercy is possible everywhere, even in the face of actions and beliefs to run contrary to our own sense of what is right. So a religion that embraces doubt along with faith is not a bad thing, it's an honest thing. Where we get into trouble, though, where we may appear weak or wishy-washy, which someone once described to me their interpretation of Unitarian Universalism, wishy-washy, is when we are asked, what do you, as Unitarian Universalists, believe? Often, when confronted with this question, we invoke the spirit of that noted theologian, Ralph Cramden. Yeah. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay, and I feel sorry for you. Ralph Cramden of the classic 1950s TV show, The Honeymooners, who, when lost for words, would either say it with me, humana, humana, right? When caught off guard, we tend to stutter and stammer, and if we're lucky, manage to blurt out something that is somewhat coherent. We're really good at talking about what we don't believe. Some of us don't believe in God. We don't believe that Jesus was the Son of God. We don't believe that the Bible should be taken literally. But when it comes to articulating what we do believe, we often struggle. Last December, I began teaching a class entitled Elevator Speech as part of this congregation's Adult Faith Formation series. Some of you in attendance took that class with me. The idea is that you get on an elevator and someone asks you, what is Unitarian Universalism? Like that would ever happen. You have until the end of the elevator ride to give an answer. Now, my suggestion has always been to take the stairs. But this is not only a useful exercise to explore our core values, it is an excellent marketing tool for advertising our faith and perhaps motivating others to try us out. The process of creating an elevator speech, though, is challenging. It requires that we dig deep, that we uncover and share the aspects of Unitarian Universalism that resonate with us the most. Ideas or principles that we take into the world with us and live out in our day-to-day lives. And in teaching this class, I have realized that what we say Unitarian Universalists believe is essentially what we as individual UUs believe. So it is not only a description of our religion, it is also a testament to our faith and those aspects of Unitarian Universalism to which we are committed. And since you asked, here is my elevator speech. Unitarian Universalists believe that love is at the core of everything we do. Our faith teaches us that all human beings have worth and are deserving of our respect and our understanding. My engagement with Unitarian Universalism has made me a better person, more confident, more compassionate, and more committed to the creation of a just and equitable world. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm gonna say it again then. No, I'm just kidding. Without doubt, our elevator speeches would all sound alike, wouldn't they? If our beliefs about Unitarian Universalism were clear and unambiguous, if they were more certain, my elevator speech would be no different than yours. The opposite of faith, writes author Anne Lamott, is not doubt, but certainty. Certainty is missing the point entirely, she continues. Faith includes noticing the mess, the emptiness and discomfort, and letting it be there until some light returns. As Unitarian Universalists, we should embrace the messiness and the discomfort. We should embrace the doubt. Cherish your doubts, writes Robert Weston, for doubt is the attendant of truth. Quote, doubt is the key to the door of knowledge. It is the servant of discovery. Those that would silence doubt are filled with fears. Their houses are built on shifting sands. But those who fear not doubt and know its use are founded on rock. They shall walk in the light of growing knowledge. The work of their hands shall endure. Therefore, let us not fear doubt, but let us rejoice in its help. Unquote. Now, there are times, of course, when faith needs to prevail over doubt, when doubt must be cast aside in order for one to triumph over the moment. Take, for example, trapeze artists. One flies through the air with seeming abandonment. The other times his swing perfectly so that he can catch the flyer with his hands, preventing the other from falling to possible injury or even death. As the flyer in midair with outstretched arms waits for the catcher, she must trust that her catcher will be there waiting for her. There is no room for doubt. Faith reigns. Or go back to October of last year. You're going to love this. When my beloved New York Mets... Sit down, Joe Miller. You can't leave. When my beloved New York Mets were battling to stay in the playoffs against the Milwaukee Brewers. It's the last game of the wild card series, and the Mets are 2 runs down in the 9th inning with 2 men on base. Up steps Pete Alonso, the home run hitting star of the team. But Pete hasn't hit a home run since mid-September, and his ability to hit in the clutch has been a major disappointment all year. While sitting in my living room watching on TV, I had grave doubts about Pete's ability to come through. But Alonso could not allow himself the same thoughts. He needed to approach this at-bat with supreme faith in his ability to hit this pitcher, to avoid swinging at pitchers out of the strike zone, and to wait for his pitch. And as it turned out, he worked a 3-1 count and then delivered the biggest swing of his life, drilling a fastball deep toward and over the right field wall. The Mets took the lead and held it in the bottom of the 9th and moved on to the next round of the playoffs. I won't say who they played in the next round of the playoffs out of respect for all of you. But faith in this instance triumphed over doubt. But embracing doubt in our lives has its distinct advantages. It enables us to slow down, to quiet the mind, to be skeptical, but learn to listen, as Don Miguel Ruiz and Don Jose Ruiz advise in their book, The Fifth Agreement. To be skeptical, they tell us, is to question the very fabric of our reality, our beliefs, our perceptions, and the narratives that have shaped our lives. To critically discern what is truth from what we have come to believe because of the stories we've been told and the lies we have been led. Consider, if you will, the nightmare environment in which we are living right now, brought on by the current occupant of the White House and his ethically and competently challenged advisors. A mix of deceit and corruption and the unconscionable grabbing of power. A country divided politically, ideologically, and socially. The author of this morning's reading, John Ortberg, writes that we all have believing and doubting inside us, for we all have the same contradictory information to work with. But I wonder, do devout Trump supporters, genuine MAGA people, experience doubt? Do they, in the middle of the night, in the quiet of their bedrooms, wonder if they made a mistake? Do they question their absolute allegiance to this man? Do they see the pain that is being inflicted on so many people here at home, the abandonment of those around the world who are the most needy, the brazen attack on our national institutions and our basic rights, and begin to doubt? Or do they remain faithful and steadfast in their beliefs, ignoring what we see as the truth? I don't have the answer, but what I do know is this: our historic commitment to diversity and equity and inclusion, which is under attack, cannot waver during these difficult times. Our Unitarian Universalist faith must be stronger than ever, must ring louder than ever, must reach out and touch more people than ever. Our faith must continue to bring us hope. Of that, there is no doubt.